Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am your voice of Descendants and Zombies, Jonathan Clarke. So honored to have been your voice of Descendants and Zombies over the last year, and what an incredible year it has been for me. An incredible journey, I describe it as. I love calling it a journey because I got to meet all of you. Not just sit here on YouTube and talk about Descendants and Zombies. I had the honor and the privilege of being in your presence and talking about what you love so much. Even if it wouldn't have been Descendants or Zombies, I would have found something you would have loved and you would have appreciated, and it's just an honor for me to be able to sit here and talk about Descendants and Zombies 300 videos later. We are all excited about Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland. The release date seems to be somewhere between now and July 2026, as you get from my thumbnail. I'm really excited about it, and I have the same amount of appreciation and value to be seen in Descendants and Zombies as all of you over the last year. Ever since last year's teaser was dropped, it was such an exciting time for fans of Descendants and Zombies because they knew something special was about to happen. And because something special was about to happen, everybody immediately went to discussion forums. They started throwing up their own predictions about what they thought they were going to see the most out of Descendants and Zombies, and I was really excited to read all your guys' predictions. Thoughts about how Red and Pink, Red was going to have a sister, and there was going to be a lot of confliction between the two of them. New storylines were going to be presented. New characters from Princess and the Frog and Encanto, the nephews of Smee. So many fun things were expected for Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, and we are still waiting with so much anticipation, if not more, than what we've ever had before for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland coming up in July of 2026. And I promise you that every day on this YouTube channel, in anticipation of the release of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, there will be at least one video uploaded on this YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, the way this YouTube channel perceives itself, it promises you Descendants and Zombies videos every day until the Descendants and Zombies video surfaces, no matter what time of day it is. It could be in the early morning hours, the early afternoon hours, or the early evening hours that a video is uploaded on this YouTube channel. But regardless of when a video pops up on this YouTube channel and surfaces, a video always emerges, because that's a promise that a host of a show needs to have with his audience, is that they can trust in a video being uploaded about what you love so much. And most of these videos, like I just got through watching, are just AI, which are promising you a bunch of nonsense and false promises, leading you down a path of what I refer to as obscurity. Because every night on YouTube, what happens is you come to what's called a fork in the road, like the old Sleepy Hollow tale of where Ichabod Crane encouraged you to take the wrong path to encounter the Headless Horseman. Well, that's exactly what happens here. Every night on your way through the woods in YouTube, you come to a path in the road. One path leads you to this YouTube channel, and the other path leads you down a path of obscurity where the videos pretty much make no sense. And I've never ever wanted to discourage anybody's hopes and dreams about Descendants and Zombies. You know, if one wants to believe that they can fall in love with a zombie and a girl and the zombie can stay in love for forever, I encourage that. If one wants to believe that forever even has the slightest chance of existing, I've always encouraged that. From the very first video that's uploaded on this YouTube channel, I made a promise to all of you that I was going to talk about Descendants and Zombies because I was proud to talk about Descendants and Zombies. And I really am proud to be here as your voice of Descendants and Zombies. Certainly something I never intended to become, but because you made me famous overnight, that's where we are now. I'm the voice of Descendants and Zombies. And I want to make a promise between myself and all of you that I will never ever go away, and I will never ever let you down. Because I think Descendants and Zombies really is going to last for forever. And the legacies of these stars are going to last eternally in all of our hearts after having a profound impact on all of our lives. Regardless of how our lives have changed because of Descendants and Zombies, because they've all changed in different ways for everybody, because you see yourself through the eyes of your favorite characters, and it could be Red, it could be Chloe, it could be Mel, it could be Evie, whoever. You've seen yourself through the eyes of, whoever you've idolized. I have a tremendous amount of respect for you for being here. And I know how much Descendants and Zombies means to each and every one of you. I know what it's like to be in your position, in your shoes. So excited for the premiere of a Descendants movie. So excited for the premiere of a Zombies movie. Because I was just like you 7.5 years ago when Zombies first premiered. I thought this was so cool. Disney was coming into the multiverse stuff, introducing it to Marvel fans for the first time ever, and Zombies coincided with that. And Zombies introduced a whole new concept that gave us a whole new light on life and a whole new outlook for the future. One could fall in love with a zombie and stay in love with a zombie for forever, and go to school with all these supernatural creatures and really embrace their true identity, like Addison struggled with many times through every chapter of Zombies. Either it was a werewolf, an alien, a vampire, what have you. She found her true identity and her true love and her true respect through the eyes of Zed. and they stand together for forever, which is something I think every Disney Channel franchise could have represented. They did represent it, but not in such a powerful way like Zombies did, and not in such a powerful way like Descendants is eventually going to. Because this story will have a happily ever after, and this story will live forever and always in all of our hearts, and I'm here to make sure of that. Because I know there are a lot of people on YouTube who criticize your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, who leave them in tears because of their opinions. There are opinions that certainly should not be valued, or anybody should seek a retribution for, because in all honesty, the opinions of these creators on YouTube are a bunch of nonsense. And I think a lot of people are getting lost in their opinions. Even so much the stars now are getting lost in their opinions. I want people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker to know, even though you find yourself getting lost in these people's opinions on YouTube, you don't have to, because you are doing a fabulous job and you've done nothing wrong. And seeing you cry really hurts me. It's like a punch to my heart. So that's why I showed up on YouTube with this channel. I wanted you to find a YouTube channel where you could depend on a Descendants and Zombies video every day, even if it was just once a day. And I've followed through with that promise. And that is my greatest accomplishment. Out of every accomplishment that I have yet to achieve as a YouTube creator, my greatest accomplishment is honoring the promise I made to you over a year and a half ago. On August 5th, 2024, I showed up for the very first time. Many of you remember me from 25 years ago when I was the host of a radio show and an original YouTube channel, where my archive link is included on this channel, actually in the description. But I showed up for the first time to many of you, to a whole new generation. And I promised you that I would upload one Descendants and Zombies video every day at that time. And every day since, for the last year, a video has been uploaded. And I look forward to talking about Descendants and Zombies throughout Halloween, throughout Christmas, throughout the New Year, because there's no breaks with this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel goes right through 365 days a year with at least one Descendants and Zombies video. So that will include Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Chinese New Year. We will be here for forever talking about Descendants and Zombies, because it's a passion that undeniably has brought us all together. And we've seen ourselves through the eyes of our favorite characters. My all-time favorite character in Descendants was Bridget, and I ultimately have had the biggest crush on Bridget for forever, and I've been crying myself to sleep every night since I found out and heard the news, the heartbreaking reality, if you would, that Bridget is no longer going to be part of the Descendants franchise. And I refuse to believe that. You can't honestly tell me that you have found everything for Bridget to do and her purpose has been fulfilled. Her time with the Descendants franchise was very short-lived. Ruby, where art thou? I know that's quoting Romeo and Juliet, but I would love to be in a Romeo and Juliet live-action remake with Ruby Rose Turner, even if we died together, because Ruby made me make sense of my own life and helped me put the broken pieces of my heart back together, kind of like you guys. You know, when I felt lost, like nobody was hearing my voice, nobody was taking me seriously, I had the Descendants and Zombies universe. There were so many nights that I would come home broken-hearted because a date never turned out the way that I wanted it to. My day probably never went the way that I wanted it to or planned. And I knew I had this show to tell you all about it. And I knew I had this show to talk about Descendants and Zombies with each and every one of you, because I saw myself in the situations these characters were in. Like Mal and Ben. Mal was on a quest to find true love and dignity and respect and value, sentimental emotions. And she found it through the eyes of Ben. Even though I never thought they looked good together, as good as what I think Victor and Nova looked together in Zombies, but they did find each other. And it really hit home with a lot of people, because a lot of people were struggling with the same thing. Every day of your life, you don't have to tell me, you're struggling with the same thing. Many of you have probably been fortunate perhaps to find that true love and to find your true identity, but that's what Descendants represented. A chance for everybody. People from the Isle of the Lost had the opportunity to attend Oradon Prep when the barrier was open to people from the Isle of the Lost, the VK kids, who went on to achieve their own legacies as some of the greatest of all time. And I've wanted to go down as being one of the greatest of all time too, but that can't happen unless you hit that subscribe button. If you never hit the subscribe button a year and a half ago, we would not be uploading the 300th video tonight. I would not be sitting behind this podcast microphone talking about Descendants and Zombies so honorably and so proud to become your voice of Descendants and Zombies. This is an accolade, and this is an experience that I will never ever forget. This is a true testament to how far a YouTube creator can come. In just over a year, 3,000 subscribers. Who would have ever believed it? You know, 25 years ago when I uploaded my very first video on YouTube, I thought to myself, you know, would I ever make it big? It was either go home or go big. with Jonathan Clarke, and it was really a hit or miss with this YouTube channel. So after I moved into this house, after everything else that I had done in my life had drastically failed, because I do these videos with an open heart and an open mind, I thought, what the hell? I'll try creating a Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel, and I'll go with this niche and see if I can find people who love Descendants and Zombies as much as what I do, because you got to believe me, I am the biggest fan of Descendants and Zombies. I may not have the dolls or the merchandise like a lot of people do on Facebook. I see it all the time on this Lost Descendants Facebook fan page or the Descendants fan page, what have you. But I do have Descendants having a very special place in my heart. It's really a place in my heart that they've carved for their powerful message of incentive, their powerful message of encouragement, their powerful message of feeling empowered, because I think for a kid to feel empowered is very important. For a child to feel empowered, especially with all the peer pressure they're faced with from high school to elementary school and finding out what they want to do in life, because of peer pressure, I think a child feeling empowered is very important. So this was the very first franchise that was able to do that for these kids. Was they gave them a feeling of empowerment and encouragement that every dream was possible. So why does a YouTube creator come on here and try to take that away from somebody because they don't like the Descendants franchise? That's pretty much it. It didn't really add up to what they wanted. It didn't live up to their expectations. I've heard it all on YouTube, and I've seen all these AI videos to go along with it, and it's really ridiculous. When Kylie Cantrell won't YouTube herself because she's crying herself to sleep every night, something has to be done. And it got me to thinking about all the years that people were saying what would ever happen if Jonathan Clarke ran for President of the United States. Well, the reality of that could become a reality for all of us, because I'm going to have to run for President of the United States if Kylie Cantrell does not stop crying. She may not seem like she's crying on the camera, but when the camera is turned off and she YouTubes herself or she Googles herself and she finds all these unfortunate videos and she's reduced to tears, well, something has to be done about it. So yours truly may have to run for President of the United States in 2028. That will be 2 years after the heights of popularity has been reached for Descendants 5. They'll probably be financing a new Descendants movie. And as President of the United States, I will financially back Descendants for each and every one of you, and I will follow through with on that promise. And I will remove all these negative videos on TikTok and YouTube about Kylie Cantrell, because nobody should have to Google themselves or live in fear of YouTubing themselves because of what they will see, because of someone's opinion that should be forgotten about in the dust and the smoke. Because in all honesty, out of that dust and smoke have arisen powerful superstars who will go down in history for being legends. I have seen it so many times over the years. If Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez, Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron's characters from High School Musical fame and the Disney Channel Revolution can go down in history for being some of the greatest of all time, then these Descendant stars will go down in history for being legends. You know, last year I saw Miley Cyrus stand on stage and accept the Legends Award for being the youngest Disney legend in history. And even with how proud I was of Miley Cyrus, I thought about that same accolade being given to someone like Kylie Cantrell, who has done a fabulous job carrying the torch of Descendants ever since she had it passed to her, maybe not physically, but visually, by Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, who did an equally impressive job as their favorite Descendant stars, and achieved their own legacies, and their own sentimental value was reached. A point of a pinnacle was reached by them. Kylie Cantrell has done a fabulous job, and I give Kylie Cantrell a profound amount of credit for being here for each and every one of you. 300 videos later, I have never been more proud to talk about a superstar as much as when I have Kylie Cantrell, and been incredibly supportive of Kylie Cantrell. Beautiful family, beautiful personality, beautiful person. Why are people criticizing her? Because they want to criticize her and they can get away with it. I have achieved worldwide popularity for wanting to vertical suplex Kylie Cantrell's man. I know, and as crazy as that sounds, I would love to be in a nightclub somewhere and do that, because he had no business treating Kylie Cantrell, or no right to treat her the way that he did. Kylie, again, you did nothing wrong. Just as Dove Cameron did nothing wrong in her relationships with Doherty and McCartan, who wanted everything to seem perfect. And I would imagine that Kylie Cantrell's boyfriend is in that same light of wanting everything to seem perfect. Nobody is perfect in this life, and I'm sure Kylie Cantrell's heard that many times over the years, but also in that same light how everybody is never perfect. Everybody deserves to be treated equal, and to be treated with respect and dignity. And Kylie Cantrell deserves that. If she deserves anything from each and every one of us as Descendants and Zombies fans and supporter of her, she deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, because Kylie Cantrell is still trying to find her light. I've often used that quote from Cloud of Final Fantasy VII, of how everybody struggles to find their light every time a lifetime appears in front of us. We all try to find our light, and I think Kylie Cantrell is still trying to desperately find that light. But the thing is, she won't be able to do it without our support. So if we quit supporting Kylie Cantrell, I doubt she will find her light. But I'm going to do everything within my power, as long as there's a bit of empowerment in my lifetime, to make sure that Kylie Cantrell indeed finds her light. And so too will Amelia Baker, so too will Ruby Rose Turner, even though they've received their fair share of criticism, and I know, because I've heard it and I've seen it, they have received their fair share of criticism. God gave them voices to use and to be heard, and I think it's far time long enough now that they are heard, and heard in a way that they've never been heard before. And people should be more proud to be fans and supporters of Kylie Cantrell, either for Kylie Cantrell the artist, Kylie Cantrell the actress in Descendants fame, or this EP with Goodie Bag Denim and See You Tonight, receiving rave reviews and millions of downloads on Spotify and iTunes. I know because I've downloaded it. Beautiful, beautiful music, beautiful, beautiful melody, and the lyrics very, very powerful. And I think that Kylie Cantrell is a true inspiration to a lot of people, for a lot of reasons that if I were here to list, I'd be here all night on this show. I want to say thank you to everybody who never quit on Kylie Cantrell, whose resume speaks for itself. Kylie Cantrell is doing an absolutely fabulous job with her image and her personality. I think that she's doing a more fabulous job than any of the stars, past or present, of Descendants has ever done. Because while Dove Cameron closed the book on her character Mal and doesn't want to reprise it and trying to desperately leave her Disney past behind her, or so she claims, Kylie Cantrell is trying to remain forever and always loyal to the Disney company. I mean, she was offered a contract for Nickelodeon years ago and turned it down. And I can see why, because she wanted to be respected by all of you for being a loyal Disney girl. And she was one of those loyal Disney girls, which is of extreme rarity these days, because oftentimes people can't wait to get away from Disney. They want to carve their name in the annals of Disney history and get away from them and have nothing else to do with them throughout their legendary career. The thing is, Disney creates legends. And people like Kylie Cantrell knew that and wanted to take full advantage of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she is going to go down in history for being a Disney legend. If not 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if not 20 years from now, 30 years from now. I'll probably be 100 years old still praising up Kylie Cantrell on this show. If you haven't figured it out, I'm the biggest Kylie Cantrell fan in the universe. If not the universe, I'll do you one better, the galaxy. And my feelings about Kylie Cantrell are not going anywhere anytime soon. So too are my feelings never going away about Ruby, because I miss Ruby so much. I really do miss Ruby, and I think she's really done a fabulous job as the portrayal of the character Bridget, because she demonstrated how far kindness can really take a person in this lifetime, because kindness really does make a difference in somebody's lifetime. There's somebody out there today just waiting for a bit of kindness to be shown to them in their lifetime they probably haven't seen today, but you can make a difference by IMing them, texting them, picking up the phone, and just simply calling them just to say, I love you. I may say this because I've never heard the words I love you enough in my lifetime, and a lot of my relationships have turned out for far worse than the better. But the thing is, at the end of every single day, when I couldn't make sense of my own life, I had each and every one of you as fans, as supporters, because we're in this together. And that's something I very quickly realized about the Descendants and Zombies universe 300 videos later, was that you are incredibly supportive of who, and more importantly, of what you love. You have stood in front of me as a shield in light of all my criticism, and you have helped me make sense of my own life when more times often than enough I couldn't, and for that I just simply want to say thank you so much. 300 videos is not the end. We still have another 300 to go. And this time next year we'll probably have 600 videos uploaded on this YouTube channel. I know that this week we will cross over to 50,000 plus views on this YouTube channel. And that is absolutely incredible. That is enthralling. And I'm excited to get to that point. But I want to get there with each and every one of you. If you're not there, then what's the point? I think this YouTube channel happened because of all of you. It may not have necessarily happened because one day I woke up and said, the hell with this life, I'm going to be a YouTube creator. I had no money. So I invested $5,000 behind this YouTube channel, reciprocal lights, a professional camera, and podcast microphone later, game chair, what have you. I'm sitting behind this podcast microphone with subscribers that I don't deserve, and a chance that was given to me that I didn't deserve. But I just simply want to say from my heart to yours, thank you so much. I have one more video left. Later on tonight I will upload it, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun talking about Descendants and Zombies one final time. I just want to let you guys know that I will forever be appreciative of each and every one of you for how incredibly supportive you have been of this YouTube channel. I honestly don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. Probably on YouTube, talking about Descendants and Zombies in a way that, or probably not even talking about Descendants and Zombies. I'd probably be just talking about a bunch of nonsense nobody ever cared about. But I do know that because of all of you, Regardless of how my critics may feel about me and my videos, I know that this YouTube channel is at least the second most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world. I believe the YouTube channel that is the most popular has 3.7 million or 3.7 thousand subscribers, and of course Disney Channel's music channel page has over 5 million people or something like that. But I think this is the second most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel on YouTube right now, with a mere 3,700 subscribers separating us from taking over as number one. And I have no doubt in my mind that this YouTube channel will go to number one as we talk about Descendants of Zombies for the foreseeable future, because the release windows for Descendants 5 Wonderland is suggesting anywhere between now and July 2026, and the release window for Zombies 5 suggests anywhere between now and as late as 2028. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I think a release window for Zombies being suggested for 2028 seems a little bit too far away and too far ahead to grasp the concept of zombies. I think that at least a 2-year window is sufficient enough. That's time enough to create a great story. But then again, the suspense is what you have to think about, because if they were releasing a movie once every year, would the plot and the story be as good as a movie that will be released probably 2 or 3 years later on in life? I think that Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, as I said here earlier, is a beautiful story and a very powerful story, far more powerful than any other story that we have seen for the Zombies franchise from Zombies 1 through 3, from 2018 and beyond. Because the window was a 5-year release window, the story got better, the plot got better, and we were reduced to tears when Zed thought he was going to zombie out for forever and leave Addison behind. But they got to spend their lives together, which was a beautiful conclusion to their story. And now we're embarking on a new journey with 2 new beautiful characters and a far more beautiful story yet to be experienced. And I just want you guys to know that it's an honor and a privilege to sit behind this podcast microphone to talk about your favorite stars of the zombies in this new franchise, in this new era we are embarking on. It is history that we are going to be a part of, and I am incredibly excited to be a part of it with each and every one of you, because there's no place in the world I would rather be than having the honor of sitting behind this podcast microphone to have reviewed Descendants of Zombies for the last decade. It's been a decade that I will never ever forget, an experience and a time in my life that really changed my life for the better, because I got to spend it with all of you. I've said many times on this show, because of my lengthy career and my resume speaking for itself, having everything to do with entertainment, the independent music industry, I don't know how many podcasts I have left, but however many podcasts I have left, however many years I have left of this unbelievable career that I've had, that I never ever thought I would have the opportunity to have ever again, because I thought 7.5 years ago I had recorded my final podcast and hung up my headset for what I had believed to have been the final time. I just want to let you guys know that this is the most fun that I've ever had in my entire life. The most fun that I've ever had in my entire life. Because for the first time ever in my life, I got to be me. And I got to meet all of you for being me and not being somebody I didn't want to perceive myself for being on a YouTube channel. I got to be me. I got to perceive myself for who I truly was, because with me, what you see is what you get. And if a sweet, genuine guy is what Descendants of Zombies has been wanting for forever, then they found that sweet, genuine guy in Jonathan Clarke. I really do love all of you so much, and I can't thank you, and I can't even begin to put into words how appreciative I am of each and every one of you for hitting my subscribe button, and I hope you continue to do that. I hope we go from 3,000 subscribers all the way to 5,000 because of this video. If we're up to me, 5,000 people would have subscribed to this YouTube channel by now. I know we still have a long way to go, but that does not mean that we can't get there, because the outpouring of love and support that I have received for this YouTube channel is unlike anything that I have ever experienced in my life, and I honestly don't know where I'd be without your continuous outpouring of love and support. I have one more video to go tonight before the sun sets, and I hope you join me for it. But I want to say thank you so much for joining me. What's been an incredible journey. 300 videos, unbelievable. And this story, you got to believe me, is far from over, and I'm excited to see where we go from here, because there is still so much more of a story yet to be told. And there is never enough kindness seen in this world, because kindness really does go a long way in this world, and it affects people in so many unbelievable and unimaginable ways. Because if you can show kindness to somebody when they really need it, when they're at their lowest points, you never know how much of a difference or how much of a significant impact you can leave in a forever imprint on their heart. So call somebody, I am them, tell them for the first time in what feels like forever that you love them, because take it from a guy who never ever hears it. It is a wonderful feeling when you know somebody out there really does care about you. Like I know the entire Descendants of Zombies universe has cared about me for what feels like an eternity. And it's an experience and a time in my life that I will never ever forget. It's an honor to have been your voice of Descendants and Zombies over these last 300 videos. And I just want to say thank you so much for never having quit on me when you very easily could have, because I honestly don't know where I would be without your love and support. I have one more video later on tonight. I hope you will join me for it. The last thing I have to say for you all is to stay calm and zombie on and keep believing in your dreams and hopes, because at the end of the day, that's all we're left with, and dreams and hopes can really go the distance and make a difference in somebody's life. I love you guys so much. Be kind to one another. Thank you guys so much for giving me the honor to have sit behind this podcast microphone and to have commentated and provide you with commentary on Descendants and Zombies for what has felt like an eternity. A decade I will never ever forget. 300 videos later, 3,000 subscribers, crossing over to 50,000 views later on this week. Bye, YouTube. We will talk again in just a few hours from now. Be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world.